Okay, there's the shot of Greg's outfit. That again, if you're on the podcast, I'm sorry. Nick, are you surprised Philly is a 6-point fave?
Yeah, I mean, the line's ridiculous. Wow. It should be a 3-point line. Philly should be the favorite. Now, I think the Rams are going to win, but Philly obviously had the better regular season, and they're at home, and it's going to be cold, and you have a team from, Southern California going cross country. I understand all of that. But what the Rams have is the single most important and predictive advantage one can have in the playoffs. Hands down, the better coach and quarterback. Last 5 years, there's been 2 instances of the team with the hands down better coach and quarterback, no debate, losing. In one of these playoff games. When the Bengals beat the Chiefs in 2021, the Chiefs hands down had the better coach and the better quarterback, and the Bengals won. Mm-hmm. And the other one is when the Giants beat the Vikings. Because I think Kirk Cousins is hands down, better than Daniel Jones. And I guess maybe that's a question because it was at the time Kevin O'Connell hands down better than Brian Dable. Maybe not.
Was that coach of the year?
We now look at him like Dable was coach of the year then, but Kevin.
Yeah, he was.
So then maybe it's really just the Bengals over the Chiefs. This is why I got the water splashed in my face yesterday. I can't in good conscience pick an Eagles team that is at a disadvantage in the 2 biggest spots.
What's the data on outside of McVay? We know he's good, but what's the data on Sirianni being a bad coach?
I didn't say he's a bad. There is no data he's a bad coach. But does anyone in football, including anyone at this table, think Nick Sirianni? I didn't say you have a bad coach or a bad quarterback. I said the other teams got better at both. Does anyone in football think Nick Sirianni is a better coach than Sean McVay?
I mean, I don't, but he wins a lot of games.
He's certainly not the strategist
so does Sean McVay.
Is.
I'm just saying, but you're acting like
Sirianni's won, I would imagine, at a higher clip.
But
he's not.
It's very close.
Hold on, you don't.
He's got the results, but no.
Josh, what's the number? We had the graphic. It's like Sirianni just wins over and over and over.
Sirianni's regular season win percentage is great, but you don't.
He went to the Super Bowl too. One guy won, one guy lost.
No, hold on. McVay's been to 2.
Exactly.
Been to 2.
Okay, one time he got totally embarrassed. Okay. So do I have to add that as a great?
Well, I mean, I guess there's. I mean,
again,
that's only looking at the game through an offensive lens, in my opinion. Sirianni, when he went to the Super Bowl, allowed 38 points. McVay, when he went to the Super Bowl, they only scored 3 points. So in both instances, when they lost Super Bowl, one side of the ball totally failed. The other side of the ball did pretty damn well. The defense for McVay, the offense for Sirianni. But again, this feels it feels to me like you're making an argument you don't believe.
I think McVay, if I had to draft coaches, I would draft McVay before Sirianni.
Okay, that's the only point I'm making.
Are you saying it's this massive
but
gap?
That's wild.
It's like hands down.
I didn't say that. I said that they have. No one would argue that the Rams. This is going to sound like double negative. Everyone acknowledges the Rams have the better quarterback. Everyone acknowledges the Rams have the better coach.
Sure. Maybe it's just a vernacular thing. I'm just saying Sirianni, all he does is year after year win games, and because we don't like that he yells at fans, shaves his head, and does kind of wacky stuff, we tag him with not being a great coach when numerically, and his job is to win games, all he does is win games. That's all.
Do you remember what their path was when they got to the Super Bowl, Philadelphia? Because
you're talking about
when they lost to the Chiefs.
When they lost to the Chiefs,
I know
they
beat the San Francisco.
They beat the Niners, and the round before.
Giants.
Did they?
I'm just wondering if that was the case, because Jalen Hurts at that point.
But Jalen that year almost won league MVP.
The quarterback may have been better.
They beat the Giants. They beat the Giants.
Oh, so they
in the division. They had a bye, then beat the Giants, then beat the Niners with the
so they had a light
quarterback.
Path.
Yeah.
The line. Look, I'm the new Eagles guy, and proudly so.
Where's the Saquon jersey?
Yeah, I need my jersey.
Yeah.
And I feel confident they'll win. The line feels a little high. It's kind of though, like I said about Baltimore. That line felt high. 10 points last week? 9.5, whatever it was. But I felt confident they would win. 6 point, like I said, it feels high. When you look at how the teams played last week, Philadelphia did not look good. The defense was great. The offense obviously did not look good, and Jalen Hurts didn't really look great. And then you look at the Rams, they did look good. The reason I feel confident that Philly will be able to win is their run game. The Rams gave up a lot of yardage on the ground this year. Only 6 teams gave up more yards per carry than the Rams this season. All right, so, and we know, I mean, Philadelphia trounced them for over 300 rush yards in the game they played. So I think they'll be able to run the football and win the game. But I will admit 6 does seems high.
A lot.
It seems high.
It feels like a lot.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you guys. I am surprised that it's 6. Should they be favored? Yes. I'm surprised that it's 6 because of what you just talked about. The way the Rams just played against, regardless of what you felt about the Minnesota Vikings, they're the 5th seed, a 14-win team. They completely dismantled that team. And then you look at the way the Philadelphia Eagles played, like defensively they were solid. Offensively is where you start to question, like, who are they going to be? Because you mentioned, yeah, they ran on the Rams the first time they played in Week 12 this year. Over 300 yards rushing. Saquon went bonkers. Totally get that. You talk about coaching. This is when coaching matters most. Do you believe for one moment Sean McVay is going to go into this game understanding what happened in Week 12 and say, "Oh yeah, we're gonna let Saquon do what he does," and no, they're gonna take away the run first, do everything they possibly can, because I truly believe they're like, I don't know if the quarterback can beat us.
Okay.
Heavens to Betsy, they're going to ask a quarterback to throw the ball. Jalen Hurts doesn't know how to throw the ball. He's going to be like, what do? I only know how to hand the ball off, or I just put my head down and run, right? I run fast to that thing that looks like 2 arms in the air. Like, what are we talking about? When did Jalen Hurts become a baby? Like, seriously, like can we stop? And enough of this nonsense that Jalen Hurts didn't look good against the Packers. He actually played a great game. He was not a problem. He took care of the ball. The wide receivers weren't open. If you want to criticize the passing game because the receivers weren't open, that's fine. I'm okay with that. I already made the video. I already unpacked it multiple times. Jalen Hurts did not play bad. He did not play poorly. He was not overthrowing his wide receivers, missing wide open targets, throwing it at their feet. That's not what happened. He took care of the ball. He was smart. He was smart in a weekend when we saw other quarterbacks not be smart, make mistakes, lose the games for their teams. Jalen Hurts did not do that. So just stop. Stop. And then this idea that the Rams played this unbelievable game. They didn't. The defense did pretty good. They did really good. The defense did really good. I give credit for that. But don't act like Matthew Stafford scarved them up. That first drive, Matthew Stafford carved that team up. But they were 2 for 10 on 3rd down. 2 for 10 on 3rd down. They had 10 penalties. 10 penalties on a team that was drowning. They were at the bottom of the ocean, passed out. Matthew Stafford was 19 for 27, 209 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 117 rating. And 90 yards rushing. So no. And I think what the offense did was smart for the Rams. So again, I think the Rams played high-level football, high-level coaching. But let's not act like they were just like, it was like, ha-ha, nah, boo-boo, you got nothing. Like, that's not how that game unfolded. And again, the Rams, if we want to play this game, you could say that the Vikings did not play well, and the Rams were able to capitalize on that. And you can say that the Packers didn't play well, and that the Eagles capitalized on that. Like, I don't understand. So you mean to tell me if Jalen Hurts had like one drive where he really like picked everyone apart throwing, had an extra like 50 yards, and A.J. Brown had a touchdown, that everybody would say that was a great game? But because they didn't get to have a couple drives where compared to Matthew Stafford was able to have a couple of those drives, mainly the opening drive, when they played a better defense, that Packers team played a really great defense. They just did. That defense played significantly better against the Eagles than the Vikings defense played against the Rams. And the Eagles defense played unbelievable. Unbelievable. They had Jordan Love seeing cats, dogs, stars, rainbow. He didn't know where he was. Jordan Love was like, man, I'm going to retire. I don't even want to be here, man. This is crazy. So I just don't understand. Again, you can make the argument that you think the Rams are going to win or this. Like, I get it. But like, it's just the reasons that we kind of come up with just feel so absurd to me. They're going to take away the run game. I didn't think of that. Oh, Saquon Barkley's really good. Okay, he runs, right? Oh, so they call hiking and they hand the ball off to him and he doesn't have to throw it. He hug it on his body and then he just runs real fast and tries to run away from the other people. Okay, that's called the run game, rushing. Okay, and that really helps the Eagles win games. Why don't we just stop him from doing that then? Can we tackle Saquon Barkley before he gets like 5, 6, 7, 8 yards? Oh, and if we tackle him before he gets 10 yards, then they don't get a first down. And if on the third down you stop him in the fourth down, teams typically punt. Is that how it works? Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know that. Yeah, let's do that then. Like, what are we saying here? They're going to stop the run. And then Jalen Hurts is going to have to throw the ball. It just doesn't make sense, man. I don't understand. I really don't. There would be more truth to that if we said Kellen Moore was a bad OC. Kellen Moore is doing a bad job of scheming these guys open. Kellen Moore is doing a bad job of getting Jalen Hurts in rhythm. Then I could understand. And we would have evidence for that because we saw that last year with not a good OC. And I confess, seeing the Packers defense against the Philadelphia Eagles offense and seeing, if you actually look at the film and you actually look at how the game unfolded and see how frequently the wide receivers, just any of the receivers were just not open, then I could be like, yeah, that's concerning. But let's not pretend that Jalen Hurts is just a spaz as a quarterback here. Like, I don't understand where that narrative is coming from. Again, is he as elite of a passer as Mahomes, Allen, Burrow? No. I have no problems admitting that, even if it makes a certain percentage of Eagles fans angry. I have no problem saying that. None. Zero. But Jalen Hurts is special in his own right. Jalen Hurts brings a lot of special to the Philadelphia Eagles. It's just a fact. It's just a fact. The team plays differently when Jalen Hurts is there. And I get it. In a lot of ways, you really want to be able to see a quarterback just casually, comfortably, nonchalantly just pick teams apart, get the ball to the receivers, get 250 yards, 200 yards. We see plenty of teams do that. We see plenty of quarterbacks do that. And those quarterbacks do not win at the same rate as Jalen Hurts. Yes, Jalen Hurts has been on better teams than them. And it is a gift. It is a gift. And you know what? I don't care. Geno Smith has more passing yards. Cool. What has Geno Smith done? Has Geno Smith ever been to a Super Bowl? No. Baker Mayfield, he finds a way. Really? How far has Baker Mayfield this year gotten? Not very far? Okay, cool. Cool. Jordan Love. Sam Darnold. Cool. Interesting. I mean, we can go all these. Joe Burrow. This is a team sport, man. This is a team game. This is situational. And again, when we love to pick and choose when we want to talk about teams playing situational. 1 minute, everyone wants to defend Patrick Mahomes for playing ugly, winning, and even Tom Brady's like, it's not about the stats, it's about winning the games. And Nick Wright's like, yeah, it's about winning the games, not about the stats, I don't care. So he threw 2 interceptions. But in the fourth quarter, he had a game-winning drive, that's all that matters. But with Jalen Hurts, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. It's never good enough. If he has a really great passing game, it's an outlier. If he wins a game by not passing, it's because he can't pass. Like, I don't understand. Can you please tell me what the rules are for this conversation with Jalen Hurts? I understand the rules are different for Patrick Mahomes because you're talking about having GOAT conversations. I get it. That makes sense to me. That makes logical sense to me. When you're talking about Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Patrick Mahomes. Like, it makes sense to me because we're talking, Aaron Rodgers, because we're talking about like greatness, the greatest of the greatest of the greatest. So they deserve to be really, really, really scrutinized. But I don't understand the issue with Jalen Hurts in this moment. Jalen Hurts is a different quarterback than a lot of these other quarterbacks, and that's okay. You know why it's okay? Because it's proven to be successful. It's proven to work. If Jalen Hurts lays an egg in this game, and he's missing wide receivers open, he can't hit them, and this and that, and it's a problem. Yeah, man. I'll be honest. When they first drafted Jalen Hurts, I wasn't sold on him. I truly wasn't. I wasn't sold on Sirianni either. I was kind of like, I don't know. I may or may not have been a Carson Wentz truther, but I was also a Nick Foles truther, to be fair. And I get it. And I've become a Jalen Hurts defender. And it's hard not to when you see other quarterbacks like Josh Allen. You guys know I like Josh Allen. It's hard not to when you see Josh Allen in any given moment, in any given game. And that's the problem, because then Eagles fans are like, oh, how many Super Bowls has Josh Allen been to? And then my counter to that is Philadelphia Eagles have had better teams. That is also the fact as well. So that's why it's always a complicated conversation. That's why you're never going to hear me just say something like, yeah, Jalen Hurts has been to a Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts has a better playoff record. Jalen Hurts is this, and that's proof that he's better than Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen and Joe Burrow. It's like, that's not how I talk. That's not how I look at things. I try to look at things as in terms of team success, individual success, how you're actually playing, what is your team asking you to do. That's why it is a more complicated discussion. It's why, honestly, I feel like some of these videos are good, because you actually have the room to just actually have long, drawn-out conversations, and you can actually get lost in the weeds. You can really just focus on this one topic for an extended period of time, and then you can bring up things in the comments and be like, oh, you know what? I didn't think of that. That's a good point. Oh, right. Jalen Hurts did do that. Yeah, you're right. Actually, I didn't think of that. And it becomes more collaborative. More things come to light, both positive and negative. Again, it works both ways. But I just don't understand why. And again, I'm not a box score chaser. I'm the king. I'm the self-proclaimed king of always trying to be like, it's not about box score. It's not about box score. But I know these guys care about box score. Like, that's it, because they always use box score to be like, so and so, over the last 4 games has a 117 passer rating, and it's like, Sam. I wrote Sam on my notes, and it's Matthew Stafford. It keeps frustrating me, and I keep saying Sam. I needed to just cross it out. But for the Rams, Stafford had a 117 rating and 2 touchdowns. And yet, Jalen Hurts had 2 touchdowns and a 111 rating. And yet, Matthew Stafford had an amazing game throwing to wide open wide receivers, and Jalen Hurts didn't. Jalen Hurts also had 6 carries for 36 rushing, which were crucial and important. And he had another big game that got called back. And he took care of the ball. And he didn't get bailed out by the refs because Matthew Stafford 1,000% made a mistake and fumbled the ball, trying to get too cute. And he was completely 100% bailed out by the refs. No question. Bill Belichick thought so. Peyton Manning thought so. Eli Manning thought so. So if you want to disagree with Peyton Manning and Bill Belichick, be my guest. That's up to you. If you think you know more than Peyton Manning and Bill Belichick in terms of what's considered a fumble and what's not, that's on you guys. That's on you. I'm not walking down that path with you. Because if I thought that was a fumble and they were like, no, it's not a fumble, I'd say, all right, you know what? I'll probably change my opinion. I'm going to defer to you guys who have actually literally physically been there on the field in the NFL. So you know what? No matter what my thoughts were in that moment, you got it. You got it. Jalen Hurts didn't do that. Jalen Hurts was smart. Dare I say, Jalen Hurts played flawless. Jalen Hurts played a perfect game. I remember the one game Patrick Mahomes had 2 interceptions, but played well in the fourth quarter. And Nick Wright said he played perfectly. That was a perfect game. And in these conversations, it doesn't matter what you did in the past. In these conversations, it doesn't matter if you won a Super Bowl, if you didn't. It doesn't matter. We're talking about individual games. How did this player individually play in a game? That's what the conversation is. It's not always about what you did in the past. That is always a lazy narrative. That is one of the go-to things that people write in the comments. Yeah, well, so-and-so won the Super Bowl. So-and-so, averaged 5,000 this and 4,000 this and 3,000 this. And it's like, that has nothing to do with anything right now. We're talking about the individual game. It's like being in a relationship with someone and being a jerk to them, and they'll be like, "You're being a jerk right now," and they're like, "Yeah, but I was really nice to you last year." It's like, that has nothing to do with anything, man. I don't care. I don't care that you were nice to me last year. I was really, really nice. I treated you awesome 5 years ago. Cool. Doesn't mean you're not being a jerk right now. Excuse me, officer. I didn't mean to drive drunk. Last night I was completely sober when I was driving. Officer would be like, "Oh, you were sober last night, but today you're not? Oh, well, that changes everything. I'll just let you off with a warning now." Come on, man. Talking about. What are we talking about here? This is just... This is next week's gonna be tough. This is next week's gonna be tough, because what I'm realizing making these videos is, because I try to make a lot of content. You know, I feel that I have that responsibility to all of you guys. And what I'm really realizing is like, I think I sensed this last year, but I just kind of had different expectations of what I was trying to do, because I just started the channel, like actually legitimately posting in December of the last season of 2023. And now, you know, this is like, you know, I really want to get a lot of content out. And the thing is like, there's been like 10 Philadelphia Eagles segments in the last like 4 days, just on First Things First alone. And so we really start reaching, and it just doesn't make sense. And the problem is that no matter what happens, the way how these conversations happen, you can say, "I told you so." If the Rams end up winning, it's "I told you so." You know, and if Jalen Hurts has a bad game or it doesn't go, it's like, "I told you so." And the reality is that there's always a chance that you're going to be right. There's always that chance. Like, that's the little secret of commentating. There's always a chance that you're going to be right. And again, Nick is the master of this, and he knows it, and he relies on it, and he leans on it. That's why he makes his bold claims that the Chicago Bears are going to the Super Bowl, because there is technically a chance. Even if it's just a 10% chance, that's actually a pretty good odds to go all in on. Because if you're right, you're like, "I'm the man. I am the king. I am the only one that called this." And if you're wrong, it doesn't matter, because you already got all the attention in like September and October or August. And when you're wrong, you equally get the attention, because everyone's like, "Ha ha ha ha." Or you just skip over it. You're like, and then you just like make a joke about it and move on to the next thing. So it becomes kind of a win-win situation in that regard. And so if you keep saying that Jalen Hurts is bad, or the Philadelphia Eagles are bad, or this or that, and you keep saying it, you're bound to be right eventually. It's like calling Sam Darnold a pumpkin week after week after week after week after week, and be wrong, 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 wrong. They run up against the Rams, they lose it, and it's like, "I told you. This is what I've been saying all year." No, you have been wrong every single week. I gotta stop making these videos so late at night. I'm posting this in the morning, Thursday morning, but I'm making this at 11 o'clock right now. I'm all fired up. I gotta go work out. I gotta do something. I gotta eat. I gotta work out. I gotta shower. I gotta like, you know, watch some Squid Game or something. That's gonna also fire me up too. Crazy. Madness. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think? Do you think the Philadelphia Eagles are in trouble? Do you think Jalen Hurts is in trouble? Do you think Saquon Barkley is going to be stopped? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.